Hey everyone, we did it. We finally made it to 1,000 subscribers. Thank you all. This is really the start of something awesome. And it all happened at once too. I've been on YouTube for over a year and I've gotten like 80% of my subscribers in the last 3 weeks. And I'd also like to personally thank Latrice Henry for being subscriber number 1,000. I've even started playing games where people recognize me from the channel. It's absolutely fucking insane. I'm so glad I'm doing this. So yeah, I guess this video is going to be more about me talking about the YouTube channel, kind of like a thank you video. So let me start off by talking about, I guess, the channel. So YouTube is actually one of my newest hobbies that I got into. The channel was supposed to mainly be a podcast about me talking to my friends and other professionals out there about the things they do. And the things they do, the things that they find interesting, things like that. And I actually got inspired to do this from a podcast called the Kind of Funny Podcast, which is a bunch of dudes who quit IGN a while ago to start their own thing. The main guy on the podcast that inspired me to do this was a guy called Colin Moriarty, but then he left for some reason. I never really looked into it. I think he got canceled on Twitter or something. I don't fucking know. So yeah, anyways, it's not Joe Rogan as most people think. It was actually a podcast of a bunch of gamers. Anyways, on the podcast, I just kind of wanted to talk about anything from OnlyFans to the judicial system. But as I was making more videos, it got harder to find guests and professionals and, people willing to get on and talk about their crafts, because, smart people don't really like their opinions to be online, right? So it got increasingly harder, and especially with my field of work, I do know a lot of interesting people. They're just not willing to talk about anything. Also, scheduling and editing the videos were so time consuming. So I'm currently trying to get several podcasts done and have them be in a new season. So I'm going to record a whole bunch at once. Because I'm also trying to get better at interviewing people. So stay tuned for that. And I know you guys don't really like watching the podcast. However, the number of views has gone up a great amount ever since I started doing more Overwatch videos. So I guess, just like me, many of you guys have several interests. And if anybody here is in the Maryland area, I would be happy to have you on if you have anything you want to talk about. So yeah, I was posting these on YouTube and I started watching videos. So while I was doing the podcast, I started playing Overwatch more. And I actually started playing Overwatch on Xbox. And I played on Xbox for, I don't know, maybe a year or two. I don't remember. But then the reason I switched to PC was because they introduced a character called Doomfist. And I was like, holy shit. This is cool as fuck. But I couldn't play it because I was on console. So, but he was available on the beta. So that's when I made the change. I moved to PC just so I can have early access to Doomfist. And I never looked back. And the big thing about Overwatch was I'm not that into shooters, right? But because the whole first person, view is, I don't know, makes me feel a little constrained or something, a little uncomfortable. I don't know why, but I don't know why I got addicted to Overwatch, because it was more than just shooting, right? It was like a first person power game, right? I used to main Reinhardt before Doomfist came out, so, I didn't have to go around shooting everybody. I go, beat people up with a hammer. But then, just playing the game more, I got more interested in actually playing people who shoot. So now I actually do like playing shooters, even shooters that aren't Overwatch. So yeah, as I got addicted to the game, I started making, analyzing the game, some of the mechanics and things like that. And after a while, a lot of the suggestions I would have when talking to my friends about things that should be changed, like buffed or nerfed, or how they should fix certain things, ended up being what they did a lot of the time. So I was like, oh shit, even though I'm not that mechanically good yet, this is back before I hit Masters, I was like, oh, at least I understand the game well enough. I just can't perform it, but I get the mechanics to a pretty good degree. So yeah, I started expressing my thoughts on Overwatch too, kind of making a video here and there. I also got into making One Piece videos ever since I found out about two YouTubers, one called Brago DA, the other one called JD Legend. Two guys I also want to interview. So, I was doing the One Piece thing and the Overwatch thing kind of, here and there. And then at some point it just caught on fire. I'm not even sure what happened. And that point was like last month. I'm not sure what happened, but hey man, it just worked. But yeah, Overwatch videos are actually the easiest videos for me to make because the only visual I need is me playing the game, and I can focus much more on the content. One Piece videos are fun, but it takes a lot of fucking time to edit. Just getting the pictures there, and I have to do so much research on the story's so long. I gotta make sure I don't miss anything, and I have to record myself, and it's just a very time consuming. And my real day job is very demanding to begin with. So yeah, it is what it is. I'm juggling everything, right? So yeah, I'd like to interview Stylosa and Samito one day. I tried getting an interview with Get Quaked On and Zebra, but they weren't that interested. So whatever. So yeah, maybe I should end this with a bit about myself for all you new people, so we can get to learn our bodies and shit. And so how I got here. So I'm currently an electrical engineer that designs new tech for the Department of Defense, and that's all I can say on that matter. But I tend to get myself into a ton of hobbies. The first big hobby I really got into was when I was in college. I created a pretty high-tech exoskeleton suit called the Badger suit, and started my own tech company making these exoskeleton suits for firefighters. You can actually just Google the Badger suit and you'll see all about it. I eventually put it on pause to get my doctorate's degree in electrical engineering to learn more tech before, pivoting the Badger suit into more military use. So my company is currently on pause, but I think it should be back up and running maybe next year. Maybe, it depends on how certain things go. But yeah, because I have to build a new one that I think I might put the entire process on my YouTube channel, but then it might be a little hard to patent the new tech on it. But we'll see how that goes. But yeah, so I just got my doctorate's degree in electrical engineering from the University of Maryland, Baltimore County. And throughout that long, torturous, miserable journey, I wrote a high fantasy novel that I just finished back in April. I'm trying to get it published next year also, but we'll see how that goes too. Hope you guys read it one day. I think it's great. It's based off of a ton of African mythology that nobody knows anything about, and has one of the coolest magic systems you've ever seen. So if you like really deep power mechanics like Jujutsu Kaisen and Hunter x Hunter and even JoJo, I think this will be right up your alley. It's really fucking fun. And everybody who's read and reviewed it so far, they liked it. And it's not like my friends or, people who are just trying to be nice to me. It's actual, reviewers. So, yeah. So everything in the book I illustrate myself. So every drawing and character design is straight from me. So yeah, that's a very short summary of the last 6 years. I've been a little busy, but yeah, I'm glad this channel thing is working out. So yeah, if everything goes well, 2023 could be the year I finally get the Badger suit into the Department of Defense, my book comes out, and my YouTube channel, finally pops off. So if you guys stick with me, I think it's going to be a pretty fun ride. I'm still trying to get good at the whole Discord thing. I'm afraid of having I'm afraid of, having everybody join my Discord, and then I'm not really good at managing it. So I might need some moderators, but I need to really do a lot more research on that. I'd also like to have a podcast where I'm talking to, you guys about what you think about Overwatch, suggestions you think, opinions, things like that, just to see what you guys think about, everything. So yeah, this is a pretty short video. Just really wanted to say thank you. So yeah, don't forget, I love you. I'm going to interrupt this video to remind you to like and subscribe. If 10% of the people who watch my videos were subscribed, I would be able to be a YouTube partner or be an official YouTube channel. So please guys, help me out.